Brothers and sisters, may the Lord give you His peace. It's a joy to be here with you. My name is Father Malachy. For those who don't know me, was here a month ago with Aaron McAtee. We're in this neck of the woods, and the now soon-to-be pastor, currently Brother Orlando, soon-to-be Father Orlando, was here, and so we hatched this idea of getting together after all this time, COVID, a lot of people kind of starving for a lot of things, starving for being together with one another, starving for the Eucharist, starving for a space and an opportunity to share the gift of creativity, of art. And so we wanted to have this time together, so I'm grateful that Aaron did all the work. I just showed up, so thanks, Aaron, for that. But it's good to be here. And you know what? The first reading, it says, the Lord will be passing by. And the Lord is passing by, and He has something to say to you today, now. And where is the Lord? Just last week, or a week and a half ago, I was backpacking in the Appalachian Mountains. I was on the AT, the trail that goes Georgia to Maine. And I had a sort of like catastrophic experience of being caught in the rain, my boots getting filled with water, hiking for 8 miles, and getting blisters that just tore off. And so my feet were just like open wounds, and I'm in the middle of the woods, like nowhere to go, and on top of a mountain. And thank God, I don't have a cell phone, but there was some guy walking by who did. So I was like, hey, can I borrow your phone? I called a friend. And I was like, I'm 6 miles away from this road. Can you meet me there in 4 hours? And I'm up on top of this mountain, and I'm like looking at my boots and my feet. And so I just was like, well, I got to get down the mountain. It's 6 miles. It's not going to be fun. So I got duct tape out and gauze, and I wrapped my feet, put my boots on. I was like, here we go. And I'm walking down the mountain, and as I'm going, the sun's setting because it's later in the evening. And then it's getting dark, and so I pull out a headlamp, and I'm like walking in the dark, on the trail, middle of the mountain, headlamps on, and then all of a sudden I just hear the sound, and I know what that sound is, and it's the sound of a wall of water falling from the sky somewhere, hitting the leaves, getting closer, and then I just hear a little thunder, and I'm like, Lord! So like the sky opens up, and next thing I know, I'm absolutely just drenched. It's pouring rain. I got a little headlamp on, my feet are bleeding, and I can't see anything, and it's totally dark. I'm in the woods, by myself, And I'm just like, come on, Jesus! And lightning then comes, and it's like all of a sudden, it like lights up, and it's sort of like somebody setting off a flare in a dark room. All of a sudden I can see everything, right? Like the trees, as far as you can see, they light up with the lightning, and then dark again. It's just me and my headlamp walking, And then just something beautiful happened and unexpected, which was all of a sudden I just became aware of the presence of Christ. And I just started laughing. I was like, you are ridiculous, Jesus. What the heck's going on? And I'm walking in the woods, and then all of a sudden just this like joy came, and I'm a musician. That's what kind of whatever qualifies me to some degree, I guess, to be here with you as far as like artistic expression. And so I just started singing, and there was nobody to record it, and there's nobody to hear it except God. But there was just spontaneously, in the midst of this moment of difficulty, this encounter with the presence of God gave birth to a song, and I just started singing. And I sang for the next 45 minutes straight, walking down this mountain until I got to the parking lot. And I was reflecting on that as I was seeing the gospel today. So Jesus is showing up, but Jesus doesn't show up somewhere else. Jesus shows up here, now, in the reality of life. And life can be so beautiful sometimes. And sometimes it can be so complex. And sometimes it can be so painful. And Jesus comes right there. That's where He is. He's not somewhere else. In the psalm it says, near indeed is this God. He's near indeed to us now in the midst of the difficulty of the world as we find ourselves, whether it's the struggle at like this big level of COVID, political unrest, tension, whatever you want to look at, or it's just like the reality of my micro storm, like I lost my job, or I don't know what's happening in school, or my relationship just ended, or I'm struggling because there's no way for me to use the gift that I've been given of art to share with other people. Wherever you find yourself, that's exactly where Jesus is coming. Just like these disciples found themselves in a boat in the middle of the sea, in the midst of the waves, and that reality was where Jesus was to be found. And brothers and sisters, this is kind of the beauty and the richness of what it means to be an artist who believes. There's a lot of people who have a gift of creativity, and they have the capacity to be so sensitive, like Elijah in this first reading, right? All these big things happen. There's an earthquake, there's fire, there's wind and crashing rocks. But then there's a still, small voice, and there is this voice. And there's a sensitivity that's in the heart of an artist that is sensitive to the still, small voice that's present in the experiences of life. And you hear it, you see it, you encounter it, and it moves you. It moved Elijah to walk out and cover his face in reverence. When you encounter a real human experience, a real human heart, real beauty, whether it's in nature, whether it's in the person whose face is in front of you, there's a moment of encounter that's happening there. But if I don't encounter that with an awareness that there is someone else who is here with me in this moment, then all I can do is show you what's happening at the horizontal level, which is good, but it's not enough. Because your heart, my heart, the heart of a human being is made for something beyond or something that's deeper within. And really, this is the beauty of the Incarnation. Every real moment of every real life of a human being in all of history has meaning because the Word became flesh. Jesus Christ came into this world and took our humanity to himself and made it holy, sacred, infused with the presence of the living God. And so whether it's the mountaintop glory or it's the deep, deep suffering, sorrow, confusion, if it's a human experience, Jesus is there. And the artist who believes, the Catholic artist, is one who is called not to whitewash the suffering, not to paint a pious picture of life and reality, but to press into the storm, to press into the reality of the darkness, the pain, the disappointment, because all of it is an invitation to us to discover how even here, Jesus, you're present. Even in this storm, you're coming, walking on water to me, God. Where are you? And when you have the moment, I just know my own experience is like something happens which I can't fully give account for. And when I sing, something happens that I can't fully give account for. And whether you write, whether you paint, whether you dance, there's a moment, there's something that's occurring deeper within us, and it is I would say, in the right sense, inspiration. It is the breathing in of a life that is greater than our own. It's an encounter with a reality that is beyond what mere eyes can see. Jesus comes. And then Jesus speaks a word, and this word we have to hear. We have to hear it always, but we really need to hear this word today. What does he say to us in the gospel? Those words out of Jesus' mouth. Take courage, it is I, do not be afraid. And then the next word out of Jesus' mouth, come. Step out of the boat. And I think this is a place where I would see sort of an icon for the artist in this scenario. All of those disciples hear Jesus speak those words, but only Peter is asked to walk on the water. And if you really do have the heart of an artist and the vocation to reveal the presence of God that comes to us through reality in some creative form, then you hear the call. It's not enough to stand there and enjoy the moment with the others. You have to do something. And stepping out of the boat is the moment in which you make a choice to take the risk of creating. Whatever form it takes, you take the risk of walking on water, doing something that's a little bit uncomfortable, and there's all kinds of things that could potentially hold me back. It could be the fear of thinking I'm just not adequate. Or it could be the fear that, this is a waste of my time. Or it could be the fear that there's just no point to it anyhow. There's all kinds of things. It's not practical. It's not pragmatic. You're right. Beauty is not pragmatic. And when it becomes pragmatic, it's not beauty anymore. It's ideology. That's not what we're called to. That's not what we're called to. But it's a risk when you step out and walk on water. But what happened? Because Peter walked on water, and it wasn't like he got it right? He's like, all right, Jesus, here I come! And he's like going, and then he looks over and he sees the wind and the waves, and he's like, wait a minute, what the heck am I doing out here? And I don't know if you've had that experience, but I know myself, it's like, with music, it's like the first time being in public, playing with people, or doing something, and all of a sudden I'm like in the middle of it, and I'm like, what the heck am I doing right now? I'm not a musician, I can't be doing this. And there's like a fear inside, it's like, and I start sinking. But the thing is you take the risk, and Jesus is there every step of the way. Whether it's the bold steps on top of the water, or it is the step in which you're sinking in that water, Jesus is there. And it takes nothing more than just saying, Lord, save me. Save me from my fear. Save me from my insecurity. Save me from a world that doesn't want to hear about your presence through art. A world that has silenced the voice of one who believes in this whole arena. Free me from that fear that doesn't want what I believe to be present in what I do and create. Give me the freedom, Jesus, to respond to reality as it's coming to me and recognize that you are there. And if you'll take that risk, brothers and sisters, if you're willing to see Jesus in reality in front of you as it is, however it comes, and you're willing to hear that call, create, come to me, walk on that water, what's the fruit of it? Jesus, after they're back in the boat, the others who were not walking on water do what? It says here, those who were in the boat did him homage, saying, truly, you are the Son of God. You are the Son of God. You have a vocation to reveal for other people the truth of who God is. And that's what taking this gift of being an artist, this vocation, means. It means hearing the still small voice or seeing the bright flash of lightning that lights up the entire forest in a moment of revelation. It means not running from the pain of whatever it is you walk through, or the darkness of whatever it is you walk through, and seeing that Jesus comes there. And when you see him and you respond to that revelation, that encounter by creating, then you become a signpost. Your art becomes a window. Your creation of beauty becomes an echo of the beauty that God is, and it points others to him. Him who will come to us on this altar in the Eucharist in just a moment. Jesus is coming. He's calling each of us. He's saying, come, walk on the water. Brothers and sisters, don't be afraid of taking that risk. And don't rob the others in the boat who need the gift of your creativity to see what they can't see yet. What's been revealed to your heart. The presence of God, the beauty of God, the power of God. As the song said, it is indeed glory dwelling here in our land. It's here. It's here. He is here. Brothers and sisters, come, walk on